Overview. In So Good They Can't Ignore You, 2012, Cal Newport aims to debunk the fairy tale notion of follow your passion. Newport does not believe that everyone has a pre-existing passion that sets the course toward a fulfilling career. In fact, he believes it might be dangerous to entertain such a naive idea. After refuting passion as a career driver, Newport attempts to answer one of the questions most asked by job seekers. How do people end up loving what they do? Newport presents his case using research and evidence, including interviews with people who either failed at finding careers they love or remarkably exceeded all expectations. He presents his findings under 4 major rules to answer the question of why people end up loving what they do. The passion hypothesis. When it comes to choosing a career, modern American society encourages what Newport calls the passion hypothesis, which states that happiness stems from figuring out what you are passionate about and pursuing it. However, this might be terrible advice in creating work you love. In order to showcase how following your passion is not always the road to success, Newport rehashes the oft-told story of Steve Jobs and Apple computers. Jobs was never passionate about electronics, but rather wanted to go on a spiritual journey to learn the art of Zen. Although his work with electronics did not stem from pursuing his passion, Jobs eventually grew passionate about his work. The passion hypothesis eliminates the possibility of actual application. Instead of testing your skills and harnessing your talent in certain areas, you end up judging the outcome without trial based on an abstract notion. Passion is not the key. Career-oriented passion is actually rare when it comes to choosing a job. Canadian psychologist Robert J. Vallerand, along with his team of researchers, found that only 4% of a group of 539 Canadian university students had a job-related passion. Instead, passion takes time, as shown by the work of Amy Resniewski, a professor of organizational behavior at Yale University. She found that individuals who have spent the most time in the same position are the ones that love their job the most. Passion takes time, which contradicts the passion hypothesis. Furthermore, the work of Daniel Pink, author of Drive, shows that motivation, and hence passion, comes from 3 psychological states: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. These feelings grow gradually with time through working right and hence produce passion, a side effect and not the main element. Follow your dreams is bad advice. For his first rule, Newport emphasizes that the common advice of follow your passion is not just wrong, but also dangerous. This overly innocent and optimistic notion is a faulty foundation for career launching. It just feeds young people fantasies that are full of holes and confusion. Based on a 2010 survey of U.S. job satisfaction, Newport reports that 64% of young workers say they are unhappy with their current position. Some individuals end up being successful when following their passions, such as athletes, and feeling happy when achieving it. However, these cases are the exception and not the rule. Even when studying a group of people who are passionate about what they do, Newport reports that their stories hold complexities that go beyond simply identifying what you are passionate about and pursuing it. So Good They Can't Ignore You. On his TV show in 2007, Charlie Rose interviewed actor-comedian Steve Martin to discuss his memoir, Born Standing Up. Martin's memoir talks about how he achieved his success in stand-up comedy and how it stemmed from the advice, "Be so good they can't ignore you." Martin developed his own unique way of delivering comedy without the cliché punchline, and it took years for his act to cohere. But with experience, his confidence grew and developed, making him a huge success. Martin's story introduces the craftsman mindset, which consists of putting in long hours of repetitive, focused efforts and being output-centric when it comes to your work. Newport's second rule states that the craftsman mindset is a crucial element to building a career you love. Newport contrasts the craftsman mindset with what he labels as the passion mindset. The passion mindset encourages the passion hypothesis by focusing on what the world can offer you, while the craftsman mindset focuses on what you can offer the world. The craftsman mindset as an essential tool toward occupational happiness. Rare and valuable. Before adopting the craftsman mentality, you need to identify what makes a great job appealing. Great job has traits such as creativity, impact, and control. And although these traits may be rare, they are valuable. Therefore, in order to obtain a rare and valuable job, you must be ready to offer something rare and valuable in return. These traits are your career capital. They are acquired through relentless focus to the point where you become so good they can't ignore you. However, not all jobs are appropriate for career capital investment, and applying the craftsman mindset on such jobs would be wasteful and will not lead to occupational happiness. To filter out jobs that would not be a good foundation for building work you love, Newport identifies 3 disqualifying traits. These traits will determine whether you should stay in your job or take your career capital and invest it elsewhere. First, the job does not provide opportunities to develop rare and valuable skills that would make you stand out. Second, you do not believe in the vision and mission of the job. Third, the job makes you work with people you dislike. If your current job contains any or a combination of these disqualifying traits, it could hinder your attempts at developing career capital. In this case, you need to leave your job. Alex Berger and Mike Jackson. To display the craftsman mindset in action, Newport tells the stories of Alex Berger, a successful television writer, and Mike Jackson, a clean tech venture capitalist. Berger and Jackson did not focus on passion, but rather used the career capital their jobs generated and turned their career into a compelling path. Television writing has the valuable and rare traits that people find compelling for a job: impact, creativity, and control. However, TV writing is not an easy job to land because it's highly competitive. Berger eventually sold a pilot to USA Network after writing episodes for 3 different shows. Berger was an avid debater during his college years and started his career as a website editor for the National Lampoon. Lampoon wanted to enter the TV production world, and Berger jumped at the opportunity, using his own experience to pitch a show called Master Debaters. Although Berger was given the budget to present a pilot, his efforts did not lead him anywhere. The National Lampoon was not a good fit to learn and apply his debater experience, so he quit and joined NBC as an assistant to a development executive. He was at the heart of the action, and he was able to gain substantial insight on being a writer. Berger joined Commander-in-Chief as a script assistant to observe professional TV writers up close, and he managed to write his first episode before the show got canceled. He kept moving from one low-level job to the next, building on that capital, until he landed the USA Network gig. Jackson, on the other hand, started gathering work capital before he knew what exactly he wanted to do as a career. During his graduate studies, while helping his professor research the natural gas sector in India, Jackson picked up valuable skills in understanding how the international carbon market works. In the United States, very few people understood the carbon market, and Jackson took advantage of that to start a business called Village Green. Although Village Green eventually had to close during a recession period, it gave him the experience needed to dive into clean tech venture capital. Deliberate practice. To successfully adopt the craftsman mindset, deliberate practice is the key. One popular concept about practice is the 10,000-hour rule, which stems from Malcolm Gladwell's 2008 best-selling book, Outliers. Gladwell, a Canadian writer and speaker, states that mastery is achieved through relentless hours of practice, 10,000 hours being the magic number. The more focused you are on difficult activities, identifying weaknesses and eliminating them, the more you are able to expand your abilities into valuable and rare traits that create valued work. As he pointed out in Outliers, Gladwell spent 10 years nurturing his abilities in the Washington Post newsroom. But when he moved to the New Yorker, he started writing his breakout book, The Tipping Point. It's all about the lifetime accumulation of deliberate practice resulting in excellence. Berger, for example, built on that debater instinct that prompts a constant need for improvement. He fast-tracked his writing skills to meet the network writing level. Similarly, Jackson threw himself into projects that were beyond his current capabilities and worked diligently to make them a success. When you are working on acquiring career capital, Newport recommends 5 key steps. Decide what capital market you're competing in, identify your capital type, define what is good and set clear goals, stretch the good beyond what is comfortable, and above all, be patient. Gaining control. In his quest to understand why people end up loving what they do, Newport set his course towards Red Fire Farm. This farm was established by Ryan Voiland, an Ivy League graduate who chose to buy farmland rather than take up big city life. Newport wanted to investigate what was so appealing about Ryan and his wife Sarah's lifestyle in cultivating organic products, which attracted a lot of people to follow in their footsteps. His aim was to isolate the traits of that appeal and incorporate them within his own life in the city. Ryan did not follow his passion, but stumbled upon his profession, and his passion came with the growth of his expertise in that area. His interest in agriculture started during childhood as he expanded his backyard into a small farm. He ended up studying horticulture at Cornell. His decision to dive into farm life was not spur of the moment, but rather he tapped into his career capital accumulated over the years. The enthusiasm and confidence of a craftsman, which goes against Ryan's otherwise shy personality, is the appealing trait Newport was looking for. The appeal in Ryan and Sarah's lifestyle stems from control over what you do and how you do. It's all about autonomy through career capital, which Newport calls the dream job elixir. Rule number 3 is to invest career capital in targets such as control. The more control you give people over their occupation, the more happiness, engagement, and sense of fulfillment they achieve. The control traps. Even when you have control in your career path, there are traps that threaten the continuity of such control. The first trap is that control without career capital is not sustainable. You always need something powerful to offer in return for such control. The career capital requirement aligns perfectly with Newport's second rule, which states that career capital is the foundation for creating work you love. After you have gained something rare and valuable, you should invest it in traits that make your job great. In this case, the trait is control. When you work on developing your skills into rare and valuable assets, you become an important and indispensable individual at your workplace. At this point, you can ask for more benefits and make your own rules. This is the ultimate form of autonomy and control. However, even though your employers will succumb to your requests, they will not be happy, and this situation will lead to resistance. Any autonomy you may request, although it will benefit you, it will be of no value to your employers. Resistance will not only come from your employers, but also from friends and family who will question some drastic choices you make, such as leaving a stable job to work for a startup. When you've acquired rare and valuable career capital that allows you to have meaningful control over your working life, your employer will try to prevent you from making the change you desire. This is what Newport calls the second control trap. The law of financial viability. Newport interviewed Derek Sivers, an accomplished entrepreneur, musician, writer, and programmer, because Sivers managed to overcome the 2 control traps. And although he always took risky and nonconformist moves when deciding his next step in his career, he was a person who loved control. In 1992, Sivers took his first risky move by quitting a good job at Warner Brothers to pursue music full-time. The second risky move came in 1997 when he launched CD Baby, a company that helped independent artists sell their CDs online. Sivers says his ultimate rule in life is to always pursue what scares him and doesn't weigh him down. He loved Singapore when he visited the city because it does not try to hold you in place, but rather it forms a base from which you can go explore. When asked how he managed to evade the control traps, Sivers responded that his number one principle about money is that he is only willing to do jobs that people are willing to pay for. Sivers further elaborates that money is the most transparent value indicator. By aiming to make more money, you're aiming to create more value. Through Sivers' ideas about money, Newport introduces a concept he calls the law of financial viability. This states that if an idea seems appealing enough to pursue, check whether people are willing to pay for it. If you find evidence for their willingness, pursue it, and if not, move on to the next idea. A clear mission. In an interview with Pardis Sabeti, a 35-year-old professor of evolutionary biology at Harvard, Newport uncovered another strategy for creating work you love. Sabeti did not let the harsh and demanding academic life bring her down, but rather chose an engaging and active life. Newport deduced that Sabeti's happiness stems from building her career on a clear and compelling mission, in which she draws energy from her work in the lab to embrace her life beyond it. Sabeti's clear and motivating mission is to use new technologies to fight old diseases. Having a mission is a powerful tool that helps focus your energy toward a useful goal, creating a unified goal for your career. And if you feel like your career truly matters, you will not care about the hardships of work, but will gain a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. However, missions are tricky endeavors, and organizing your work around a mission doesn't mean it's going to succeed. Career missions can be compared to scientific discoveries and breakthroughs. They happen when scientists are competing to get to the cutting edge of their respective fields. A good career mission is an innovation waiting to be discovered in the adjacent possibilities of your field. Sabeti told Newport that passion is required to be happy. However, and in agreement with his first rule, Sabeti doesn't believe in figuring out in advance what work will lead to passion. Passion is developed through the work you do. Sabeti's career changed path on multiple occasions as her interests moved between mathematics, biology, medicine, and finally research. It took a lot of time and patience to determine clearly what her true mission is, a research career in computational genetics to combat ancient diseases. Through the input from Sabeti, Newport established his fourth rule: think small, act big. As Sabeti dedicated her focus patiently on a narrow niche, she acquired the rare and valuable career capital needed to go big and establish her career, bringing her occupational happiness. From idea to practice. Even if you have acquired the necessary career capital and identified ideas for missions, you still need to take that leap between idea and practice. This is a challenging endeavor. As Newport read a business book called Little Bets, written by a former venture capitalist named Peter Sims, he uncovered what could be strategized to make the leap from idea to practice. In his book, Sims studies successful innovators such as Steve Jobs and innovative companies such as Amazon to uncover the reason behind their success. It's all about making small, methodical bets to see which direction is the best path to follow. Through a series of failures and victories, they reach the ultimate win and success. The key is to take small leaps and be smart in your moves. A good mission-driven project should be remarkable in two different ways. First, its remarkable traits should compel people to notice. And second, the mission must be launched in a venue that supports this remarking. Newport calls this the law of remarkability. Author style. In writing So Good They Can't Ignore You, Cal Newport employs a simple, friendly, and approachable tone. He includes summaries of his rules, profiles of people he mentions, and a glossary. He uses the testimony and experiences of actual individuals to make his case. And a section at the end of the book explains how he personally applied his own rules. Author's perspective. Cal Newport earned a Ph.D. from MIT and is an assistant professor of computer science at Georgetown University. He has published 7 best-selling books, including A World Without Email, Digital Minimalism, and Deep Work. Newport wrote So Good They Can't Ignore You as a way to organize his own confusion about his career path. It was an effort to find the key to happiness in work you love. Newport says the first rule was ingrained in him even before he started his research. while the other 3 rules came together as he wrote this book. We hope you enjoyed the insights on Cal Newport's So Good They Can't Ignore You. Purchase the book to learn more.